Okay, so this is news that upset a lot of people. A lot of people were like, "What is this?" And I don't really understand why. So, and I'll tell you why in a few minutes. So, we are talking about a Google game controller. What? Google creating game controllers? But why? Well, we'll talk about why a little bit later. But the reason why this thing, people have been kind of upset about this is because it doesn't look good. Now, if you're watching this on our Twitch live as we're doing it or on our YouTube channel a little bit later, you can see this mock up right next to me. But here's the thing, though, right? So, does the controller look good? No. Does it look like an abomination? In my opinion, no. But if someone said, "Oh, so you're saying it looks good," do not put words in my mouth. It does not look good. But here's the issue, though. Depending on what you find online, it is either a visual, like what a controller would look like if Google was creating it tomorrow, and then you'd see some sketches, and those sketches are the actual design. So this one right next to me, again, if you're watching the video, that's not the actual design. That is something that's been illustrated by someone else, we'll get to who in a second, to look like what the actual controller would look like if you were holding it in your hand and you saw a visual. The actual drawings, which are in the articles that I've put down below, either if you're watching this on our Twitch live, it's in the chat, or if it's on our YouTube channel, then that'll be in the description box. So this is a patent. So this is a patent for, and we don't know if Google's creating an actual console, but we do know they're creating a controller, and this is a patent. So that's all we know, is that based off of this patent, which they could change, a lot of things that companies like Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, they'll patent something, it'll look like poop, but they want the general idea to be patented so that someone else can't come and potentially try to patent troll them or something like that. And that happens a lot, of course, when it comes to, I don't know about any other industries, but definitely we've seen it in the gaming industry where, Nintendo will go, "Oh, we want to make, a Wiimote." And then a company will go, "Actually, we trademarked something like the Wiimote a few years earlier." Now, sure, we never created anything with it, but it looks like your thing and it kind of works like your thing. So pay us. And I'm pretty sure by the way, if it wasn't the Wii, my apologies, but it was done with another Nintendo console. I thought it was either the Wii or the Wii U. Could be wrong. Definitely wasn't the Virtual Boy. No one wanted to claim. No one. If anyone had patented something like the Virtual Boy, they'd be like, "No, I did not. I did not do that, patent office. Do not. No, no, no. I did not." So when looking at this controller, though, let's talk about what it potentially could do. At least under the patent application that Google tried to apply for. They applied for the application. Yes, they did. It seems as if it could receive notifications for chat, play invitations, and other content, and could launch the relevant app on any relevant device. So it says in the article, you could jump into a multiplayer match on your tablet if the TV is in use, for instance. Oh, okay. So then, yeah, so we don't know if they're creating a console, but of course, again, this says relevant app or device, something like that, because Google, any person who trademarks it can keep it vague. They don't have to put in, "because of our brand new console." Like, it doesn't have to do that because it's about a controller. This controller could be compatible with anything. So it could literally, be compatible with Google Games if they launched like a Google Games streaming service or something like that. Or if there was like a Google app on not your Kindle, wouldn't be on your Kindle, but on an Android device where you wanted to play games on. So this could lead to a console, or it just could lead to a controller and a streaming service or something along those lines. So before we get into before we talk about some other things, I want to talk to you guys about who actually created this render. It's Sarang Sheth at Yanko Design, and so this person created these mock-ups. So again, the original drawings and sketches were, I'm not saying they were great, mind you, I'm not saying they looked amazing, but I think that the internet went a little bit out there. Well, a little intense when they saw this mock-up and thought, "Oh God, this is the end. This is the worst thing ever. How terrible is this?" It's like, all right, we got to calm down for a second. We got to do some research and we got to see where this came from. So this is not the controller, technically. It could be. Believe me, if Google released something like this, I'd laugh because it looks a little bit like that Wu-Tang controller for the PlayStation 1 mixed in with like really bad third party bootleg NES type style buttons. And the D-pad is just rough. Like, again, if this was real, I'd be shitting on it. But it's not real. So, I get it. I really do. Like, I understand that, when you see this immediately, you're like, oh God, right? Like, I was not into it. But then when I looked into it a little bit further, I realized I don't have to be into it because it might not even be the actual controller at the end of the day. So again, we'll see what happens with this thing. We'll see if it leads to anything. There's some rumors that I'll be talking about a little bit later on in the podcast, but yeah, we're just gonna have to see if this actually leads us anywhere. Honestly, I think it'll probably just lead us to something streaming, something online. I don't, maybe a Steam competitor in some way. I don't know if this is actually going to lead us to a physical console, but hey, time will tell. And yeah, I would be very interested in seeing, where this could go, and if this controller isn't going to look like poop in the future. But I want to hear what you guys have to say. Tell me if you think this controller is going to get better, if you might think it's going to get worse, if you think this is better, or if this is the worst it can get. Sans just being two disconnected thumb joysticks. You just push the two and then that's it. I don't know how else this could get worse. It could potentially, but I think that's where it'd have to go. Yeah. So again, just tell me what you guys think down below. Would love to hear what you guys have to say.